Hi and welcome. My name is Carlos, and this is my very first YouTube video. I have been working on boats and around boats for about 7 years now, and I have been restoring a few of them. And I decided it was a good time to start recording and documenting some of this stuff that I'm doing. And today I'm presenting you with a 1983 Bayliner Trophy 2060 Fisherman. I hope you like it. Let's get started. All right, so if you notice in my intro video, this boat is very dirty. And I got it like that, and I wanted to show it to you how I got it, in what kind of condition. And I'm gonna do a little tour around the boat so I can show you all the parts of the boat, the cool things about it, and the reason why I chose this specific model. In 1981, Bayliner started a new line of boats called the Explorers. These boats were kind of unique because instead of having a V or deep V hull, they had a modified V hull. What means is the deck rise in the back was pretty shallow in comparison with the previous boats. That allowed for better fuel economy, and even though they weren't designed for rough seas, they perform really well in calm and moderate seas. In 1982, they on top of the Explorer line, they started what is called the Trophy line. Bayliner had three boats for the line of trophy boats. It was the 2010, the 2260, and the 2660. Now remember, the Bayliners, the model number, the first two digits is the length, and the last two digits is a specific model. For the 2010, 20 feet, model 10, and then the 2260, 2660. Now, what is great about the 2010, the smaller one of the trophy line for 1982, is that that boat was configured to take an outboard engine, not an inboard outboard like this one has, and many of the other ones in that line. Now, in 1983, they came up with this model, which is a hardtop model, very much like the 2010. With a hardtop, the cabin is pretty much identical. The difference is now, instead of having an outboard engine, it will have an inboard outboard. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because my main restoration point here is going to be to convert this transom from an inboard outboard. Right now, it has a Volvo Penta AQ125 paired with an outdrive, which is a Volvo Penta 270. And I'm going to remove those and modify the transom to take an outboard engine. Now, what that means is that I'm going to be rebuilding the transom from ground up, the transom and the stringers. So it's going to be a big project, and I'm excited to bring you along with this, so you can see the whole process. I'm here in the cockpit of the boat, and as you can see, it's very simple, and it's a little different than the Explorer series. The Explorer series, the 2070, had the helm, and then it had some kind of cabinet here with a stove, and I believe it also had a sink. This boat is a little simpler just because of the cockpit being a little smaller, and also on this side is where the sink is located for this specific boat. It has only a seat here that you can turn around, and these are the original seats, so they're going to be replaced. But yeah, it's really cool, very simple. Again, this was a trophy line, so it was meant to be very utilitarian and mostly focused on fishermen. So let's talk about the helm. The helm has, of course, the steering wheel here. It has an hour meter, which this boat only has 385 hours, which is very little. Then it has the switches here: blower, anchor light, pump. Then it has a wiper, panel lights, access lights, and then tilt. It has a button for tilt up and down. That will be per hour drive. It has the shifter right here, And then the keys are right here, and then it has some information about driving the boat on the water, the rules of navigation. Now it also has the gauges here. This one is a speedometer, even though this one was not fitted originally. It doesn't have the speedometer. This one is the tachometer for the Volvo Penta. It has oil, voltage, it has water temperature, and it also has a fuel gauge right here. Besides that, that will be it for the instrument panel. On top right here, behind the radio, it has a compass. I'll try to give you some close-ups of this as I go along. Now, the other thing that's great is that this boat came with these original radios. This is an Apelco VHF FM radio telephone. That's pretty funny. It's a pretty old radio, late 70s, early 80s. And I thought it was really cool if we can try to turn it on and test it. Besides that, it comes with a a depth finder, which is a Cytex Honda FL5, and I'll try to show that to you. And then on the side we have a fish finder. This is a Humminbird, a wide vision Humminbird. I'm not very familiar with the model number. Okay, so we also have this, which is the windshield wiper motor for the captain's seat or windshield. And then on this side, we also have another windshield wiper, which is for the passenger or, first mate. Now, let's go and let me show you the cabin. So now here I'm gonna be showing you the cabin and how to get to the cabin. So basically, here's the hardtop and the helm, and then you have the passenger seat. Of course, like I was saying, look how bad in what bad condition it is. That it's just all falling apart. But we'll take care of that very soon. Now let me see if I can show you here the cabin. All right, so in order to enter the cabin, you're going to use this door right here. It's very short, so it's a little bit of a job trying to get into the cabin. But yeah, let me just show you how it goes. It goes right here. Now, it has a V berth configuration. Um, Pretty much, it originally had cushions here, and another cushion right here, and right under this cushion, it had a porta potty. On this side, it had another cushion, and basically, you could sleep one person on this side, and I'd sleep another person right there. Now, what is cool? Sorry about the noise. What is cool about this boat is that when Bayliner um, advertised this boat, they said that all the trophy lines had this cool rear cabin right here. So it basically goes under the seat right here, under this part, and there you have another place to sleep a third person. So this is kind of cool. It goes really deep. It's hard to tell right now, but it's more than 6 feet deep. And then if you look underneath here, you will see this is all under the floor of the cockpit, and it's all open. It's all open to the back there. All right, so continue with the tour of the cabin. I wanted to show you these storage compartments. If you open this one right here, which is the starboard side, this is an old extension port here, and then there's a spare propeller right there. And it's actually pretty deep. I'll show you all the way back there. Um, this will be on the starboard side. Sorry for the noise. This would be the forward. It's right here. I'll show you right there. It just ends right here. There are some wires down there. And then this is the port side, which is actually pretty big. Let me show you this one first. So go inside here. Goes all the way there to the hook for the winch for the trailer. And then back here, it's pretty big actually. And then On this side, there is another storage place, which is right underneath this port side bed. And like I said, it has some storage unit down here. And like I was saying, it's really deep, about 6 feet deep. So now I wanted to show you behind the helm. This is the steering, of course. And then it has a fuse panel right here. And it has all the connections. Actually, it's pretty clean in here. Well done, well, a lot of zip ties and everything that kind of neatly. So I don't see any issues there. I'm planning on replacing the steering with hydraulic steering, since the engine is going to be a little bigger and it's going to be much easier to steer. Now, continuing the tour of the cabin, something I found was kind of interesting, and being a hand radio operator myself, I found it to be pretty cool, is that it has this CB radio right here. It is Unimetrics Seahawk 40. I'm wondering if it still works, so I might have to give it a try. Now, the last video about this cabin, just for the touring part, this is also a hatch that it has, and it seems to be working really good. We open it here, like this, and this part, and it just goes straight up. It works fine. It's a little brittle, of course. It's a 41-year boat, so it's a little brittle, but it seems to be just fine. Now, like I was saying, it also has a sink right here. This sink, it has a fresh water tank right underneath here, the sink, in that rear cabin. And you can fill the water up and use it. It doesn't have a raw water intake. It's just fresh water from that tank. And yeah, and just this is the sink, and it drains straight out of the side there. Now that will be the tour for the cockpit, and then let me just show you here the deck and the engine compartment. All right, so here's the deck area, and as you can see, it has several compartments, and I'll give you a little tour of each one of them. First, to start, this compartment here is pretty much a live well. If I open it here, you'll see it's actually pretty big. It has a drain right there as well. So now this compartment on this side, it can be for storage of items, or you can actually install another like an ice box or a live well there. On this side is the access to the batteries, and as you can see, it has this kind of live well or ice box. And if you remove it, the access to the battery is right there. I don't know if you can see it. Now, it's very dirty inside, like I said earlier, but no worries. It will clean up really nicely. I just wanted to show you guys how it looks on day one. Now, I want to show you the engine compartment. The engine is seized, and it's going to be removed and disposed, recycled. So I just want to show you what is the current condition of this thing. I'm going to open this. The hinges are not working, but at least I can show you guys here. It is kind of a shame. I think the condition is because it has sat for so long that it kind of looks like this, very rusty, some parts oxidized and all of that. I mean, it's really dirty down there as well, but the engine is just a shame. I think the water has sat here for so long that all that moisture starting messing up the engine outside. Now, I'm going to show you something. Let's see if I can show you here. If I open here the oil fill, you'll see how in what a gray shape the actual camshaft is in. I don't know if you guys can see it there. So the internals of the engine seem to be in pretty good shape. But since the day one of me finding this boat, I know I have wanted me to be doing an outboard conversion. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. But it's just a shame that this engine was not properly maintained and ended up in this condition. I know that they were very reliable engines, not the most powerful ones, but you know, it's just a shame. So let me continue with the tour. All right, guys, before I finish this engine compartment area, I wanted to show you the fuel tank. It's an aluminum tank, it's 40 gallons in capacity. It has a fuel sender there. This is the outlet, it has the vent, and it has the inlet right there. It has a pretty long strap, which is pretty much keeping it together. And on top of that is 60 inches long by 12 inches wide. And my guess is about 16 inches um, tall or high. So it sits right there. Once I remove the engine and I start doing the restoration, I'll probably remove it. There is a big chance that this tank is leaking or is about to leak. Um, Aluminum tanks generally last no more than 20-25 years in this, you know, the hard conditions that boat have to live in. So being that this boat is 41 years old, I think it's smart to remove it and just install a different tank. All right, guys, so I kind of forgot to show you this, which is under the helm seat, there is a compartment here that can be used as a live well or an ice chest, you know, it's right here. And, you know, keep in mind these trophy boats were designed for fishermen, like people that like to fish. And so there are many options in terms of storage and, how to preserve, um, fresh fish in this boat. And on top of that, like I was saying, and I wanted to give you a little close up, here is a fishing rod holder, which is in really good shape for being 41 years old. And, you know, look at the condition of the stainless. It's in really good condition. Show you right here. Of course, the teak is not in good condition, but that can be restored, even though it's, it's not the best shape. But now this one is actually chrome finished. And as you can see, it has a lot of pitting. I don't know if you can see it right there. So definitely not the same kind of finish, also with the cleat, but the rod holders are in really good condition for 41 years. Okay guys, now I wanted to show you the stern of the boat. This has the original Volvo Penta 270, which is paired with the AQ 125 engine. And as you can see, the outdrive is actually in great shape, mostly because it was never kept at a slip. So it has always been trailer and there's no corrosion, probably always used in either brackish water or fresh water. Now this Volvo Penta outdrives, someone installed fins here to help with the whole shot. And here's the exhaust flapper and the propeller. It has a water intake right here. And yeah, everything is in pretty good condition. I'm sure the bells have to be replaced if they're not original. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, everything is there. And like I said, this is going to be an outboard conversion. So I will show you guys in the next video how to remove all of this. So this is the stern of the boat. And I wanted to show you here one of the features about this boat, which is the shallow V hull. And if you look at the back here, instead of being a deep V like most of speedboats, the V here is very shallow, and which allows the boat to be somehow economical to run. Now, if you run into very choppy waters, in that case, the boat could give you kind of like a rough ride. But there are certain ways or certain techniques that you can use to kind of compensate for that. But one of the main reasons why I got this specific boat is because of this shallow V hull. And so let's see what else I can show you about the boat. All right, so here's a little tour around the boat. We start here at the bow of the boat. Everything looks good. The insert for the railing is missing. Originally, they used a piece of rope, and I'm considering using special tubing that will go in there. It's a 3/4 inch in diameter. So instead of using rope, I might just use a tubing inside, which is designed to be an insert for wrap railing. Now, like I mentioned, the boat is pretty dirty, and so keep that in mind. I mean, I'm just showing you exactly how I got it. And on the next video, most likely I will start by just cleaning the boat. That way I will have you know, a clean boat to work on. The very first thing I'm going to be doing to this boat is to remove the outdrive and the engine. And since this boat is going to be an inboard, outboard to outboard conversion, and it's not going to have a bracket. You know, I did a bracket with my Bayliner 2452, which I will talk about a little later. You know, later on this year on my channel. In that case, I put an outboard bracket right here where the outdrive is. I just put an a outboard bracket that extends 30 inches, 29 inches, and that's where the actual outboard sits. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with that early version of the Trophy, the 2010, that I explained earlier. So basically, the transom is cut right here, along here and up. And I will show you a picture of it so you can have an idea how it works. But you know, it worked for them in that configuration. I think it will be great. Since the boat is pretty small, I'm trying to avoid having too much weight in the back. And also, the hull is a shallow V, which there is not much surface underwater in the back, in the stern. So if I had a flotation bracket, it wouldn't do a lot of work here because it's very little surface that actually floats. So I think by cutting the transom and doing a notched transom is going to work best for this model. So now going back here, I wanted to show you a little bit more about my transom rebuild. So if you look, and we'll try to show some pictures here of the Trophy 2010, you will see that the transom is actually notched right here where this box ends. Same thing on this side. So basically it opens all the way there like this. And it ends right here. This is where the splash well goes. All the way from here, all the way to the other side where the box is. And that's going to be the splash well. So I'm going to remove this cover, cut the transom, rebuild the transom and the stringers, and then this deck is going to extend all the way to the transom and help reinforce it from the top, right where the upper bolts of the outboard goes. Okay, guys, do you think this really is going to work? Let's give it a try. Oh yes, it turns on. I don't hear any audio coming out of it. It has a dim feature right here. Okay, and then it has a channel 16. It has international channels, monitor. It has weather as well. But yeah, I don't hear anything. So it seems like the speaker is not working. Yeah. As you guys can see, I also got the CB radio working. The antenna is not connected, so I can't do much about that. But I got the CB radio working.
What's going on, Carlos? I'm just about to take snooze. This is the rear berth, which is pretty much a rear bedroom. So I'm just taking a snooze. See you guys later. I'm gonna back up this so we can see what exactly is going on here. Yep, it's all fun stuff. There used to be an engine here. Well, that's gone. Used to be a lot of tubing and lines and cords. They're gone. There was some type of box or bulkhead here. That's gone. Yes, gone. Gas tank. That's gone. But, and we got Carlos sleeping on the job. He's the only thing left in here. Yeah.
I hope you guys like the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Anything, any ideas, any suggestions that you might have, please feel free to share, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then.